Hey guys, Manoj and Phil here today again. So what we were thinking was that today we'll give you some practical tips on how you want to conduct yourself during the quarantine, during lockdown, wherever you are in the world, whatever your situation is, whether you're living in a big house, in an apartment, farm, wherever. The key thing here is that we want to make sure that you are doing everything in your power right now to keep your schedule, maintain your body, maintain your mental aspect as normal as possible. Because once this is over, we don't want to get into a habit of like a vacation mode or something along those lines where we are bumming around watching TV all day, not getting up on the right time, not taking showers, whatever that case is. If you get into that mode right now, when this thing is over, it's going to be really hard to bring us back, right? So we want to make sure that we maintain the routine, we calm ourselves down. So we'll give you some tips about how you wanna think, your quality of thought process, and the quality of your sleep. These are two main aspects, and then obviously we'll talk about food and health and all that. These are the qualities, or these are the actions you must take right now. These simple actions that will keep you in the game, and prepare yourself for whenever this floodgates open up, when the economy opens up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, Manoj and I were talking off air before. I was contacted by a business owner friend of mine, someone I've done a lot of work with before. He owns a recruitment firm, a search firm, and he's extremely stressed at the moment, as are a lot of people, trying to work out what the best thing to do is, where to invest your money, all of this kind of stuff. And he came to me and said, I am really stuck. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm in a real crossroads. It's not even about just making a decision right now. I don't even know which way I'm heading. And he was looking for some advice. And I said, well, look, I can't tell you which way to head. Only you can do that. But what I do when I've been in that situation previously, is I personally do a guided sleep meditation. And I will leave a link in the comments and descriptions and all the boxes and stuff. So you can go and do my favorite one. It's fantastic. But even if that's not your usual thing, just drink a lot of water, get yourself out there in nature, get yourself physically active, maybe do some yoga, just something to keep yourself physically fit, physically moving, because the last thing you want is for your mind to seize up as well as your body. And the two tend to reflect one another. The stability of up here tends to reflect itself in the physical, and vice versa. So you need to keep yourself physically active so that you have the mental capacity and the energy to be able to create these new things.
Yeah, I mean, even astronauts, when they go in space, they lose their the bone density, so they have to exercise all day. And more than physical exercise, mental health is very, very important right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're being bombarded with news of disaster and all that stuff. You don't want to look at that. I will say, if you're interested in news, maybe turn on the news for 10 minutes, whatever time works best for you in the day, and that's about it. You catch up and you know what's going on in the world, and leave it alone. Think of the positive thought, as Phil said. It doesn't have to be meditation alone, although meditation is the best tool ever, to get into the right frame of mind. And this is the best time to learn meditation. A lot of people say, I don't have time, my mind is
now you do. Yeah, now you have time.
Right now, that excuse of I have no time doesn't work. So and this is the time when meditation is most required, right? So if at all you are looking into this, you are curious about that, go get started with that. And if you need any help with there, both Phil and I, we have been meditating for a while, so you can shoot us a message or a question. We'll be able to help you.
Definitely.
That being said, meditation is not the only way. The point is to quieten your mind and observe your thoughts. So you can do that, doing painting or gardening, or taking walk in nature. As long as you tune out all the noise, and you start noticing your own thought patterns. That's the essence of meditation. And once you start noticing your thought, you will start now. You can now make adjustments and say, oh, this thought is serving me well out, and this thought is serving me well. Okay, let me think more about that, right? These are the mechanics of what you want bring in your life right now. This you can do within quarantine, lockdown, whatever is going on in your life. And drinking water, water is a source of life, so drink
Absolutely.
as much water as possible.
I'll as I said, I'll share the link with you all there as well. I also wanted to put a bit more meat on the bones in terms of what I said earlier in today's live regarding giving you some sort of behind the scenes looks in terms of what's going on. So Manoj and I obviously are working with you in this group, and we're working with some customers and some clients who are looking to kind of do this thing on a consultancy basis. But we also have our own individual businesses. So I want to give you a bit of an insight into what's happening within my recruitment and search business at the minute. I use a lot of outsourcing and a lot of remote work. We have some sales colleagues that are setting up for us in Cape Town at the end of the month. And there's still some opportunities there. So if you know anybody, or you're somebody who's good at sales or appointment booking, and maybe you want to be part of this behind the scenes journey, definitely get in touch. We'd be happy to have a chat. Same about AI. I always love AI people. So anybody that knows about AI, get in touch. But what we'll be doing is giving you a real behind the scenes look in terms of how that has worked. And actually this week already, I was saying to Manoj earlier, I won't do it now because it'll go too long, but I actually had something that I thought was fixed. We provided a solution. It was done. It was fine. I left it alone, and it fell over the first time that a tiny bit of breeze went past it. And now I have to do it again. But that's the time that we're in. And this is exactly what we're trying to stress to each other and to our mentors to us, and vice versa. We will fall over in this time. It is slippy and it is muddy, and you are going to get dirty. And that's the way it goes. And if you're going to fall down and stay down, it's not the fight for you. Just ride it out and hope for the best. But if you're somebody that really does want to thrive, you do have to roll your sleeves up, and you do have to get muddy.
Exactly. Yeah. Think of when you were a kid. No kid has ever started walking without falling down.
Absolutely.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. But let's say when you were a kid, like 1 year old, whenever you started walking, you thought to yourself, you know what? It's too difficult. I'm just gonna stay here and let nature take its course. How many steps are you going to take in that state of mind? How many races are you going to win? How many you won't be able to move, right? So
you've lost before you've even started. If you go into that, the first place that you have to be ready is here, because if you're not ready here, there's no point executing. Which is why I'm saying, if you are finding yourself right now at that place where you're going, this is all good and well, them talking about how do we grow a business and how do we do this remote and how do we scale and all this kind of stuff, but I haven't got a Scooby-Doo what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking. This is a great place to start, because it all starts in here. We can't give you these answers. We don't know you as an individual. I don't know your unique skills. I don't know what you can provide better than anybody else. Only you know that. And once you can figure that out and match that with a solution that's required in the marketplace, you go from being your job title to being a really desired solution within a business.
Yeah, that's right. And as I said, hard work will be needed. Failures will be part of it. But here's the thing. We know about goal achievement. Failures are not failures. They are lessons. These are the lessons that you use to get closer and closer and closer to your goal. And the more you learn, the more you continue to improve yourself, the faster you get to your goal. And I certainly wish I had this much mentorship, this much guidance available to me. I was struggling when literally I had no money to buy a freaking book. Now you have these YouTube channels, you have Facebook groups, you have like so much coming your way. I just cannot imagine being in a situation without this kind of help.
Be aware of the false prophet as well. I'm not ashamed to say I've fallen foul of a few that I've paid a few $1,000s to that I really shouldn't have. People who promise you solutions. Put it this way: if anybody ever promises you anything out of the box or guarantees you something, it's probably worth overlooking. There's a question coming here.
Yeah, what can I do these days? Because I can try learning Android, but I couldn't. So first of all, one thing, you need to remove this couldn't from
exactly.
Right. So you cannot have a mindset of I couldn't, because if you couldn't, that'll be exactly right. Yep. Whether you can or cannot will come true. It's your choice. So if you want to learn Android, I mean, there are tons of tutorials on this very channel. There are
Yep.
tons of tutorials on YouTube. Otherwise, we can hook you up with lots. I mean, if you're looking for education, we can hook you up with a lot of resources.
Mhm.
But if you continue to say I could not, I can give you all the education you ask for, but it's not going to go anywhere. So first
Yeah.
thing is you need to change yourself.
Well, look, what I definitely say is, I mean, you've said, what can I do? Okay. No, it's okay. You say you're trying your best. I get it. Absolutely. Right. And it may be that isn't for you. Or, you know, especially if you're going into it with that mindset, it's definitely not going to be then. It's not going to work if you're going into it with the mindset of this isn't going to work, right? Manoj is absolutely right. But what I would say is if you're thinking immediate term, if you're thinking, okay, I am keen to learn something, but I also need something I can make money from right now, you need to change the mindset anyway. I said it earlier today, you know, you need to go to providing a solution. You need to be not worried about what you haven't got and more focused on what you have got. Because what you have is a solution for somebody. It might not even be a solution for somebody in your local demographic. That's the whole point of this remote revolution, is that you can do business with anybody in the world, because somewhere, someone in the world will have a need for whatever it is that you can provide. So maybe this is exactly what I'm talking to you about. If you're sat there thinking, well, I don't know what that is, I don't know how to do this, this is the time that you should really be sitting and reflecting and thinking, okay, where is it I'm trying to go? What let's get it clear in here. Let's see what resonates. I call it trying things on.
So let me address this question, which is what I wanted to learn. So what can I do? Right? I tried my best. So once again, I will use the same analogy. I don't know. Let's assume that you are 20 years old right now and you can walk and run. So I need you to go back and think about your life when you were 1 year old or 2 year old and you were trying to learn how to walk. If you had said in your mind, I tried my best, I took 10 steps and I fell over 10 times and I cannot do it. My butt hurts, my legs are tired, I just cannot do it. What will be the result? So if you really are convinced Android is the way to go, then you really need to just put that aside, that this mental block that, you know, I tried my best, I couldn't do it. And you just keep doing it until you get it. You get it, right? It may take a little bit longer, but you have lots of time. But you have to be sure this is what you want to do. And as Phil said, it may be that you are not able to get it because that's not your destiny. That's not your ultimate goal. You're just wanting to learn Android because your friend is learning Android, or you heard Android pays well, or whatever that is. So you really need to understand what you want to do, and then you put your heart, body, soul, everything into that, and we are there to help you. And then when you get to that level, then there is nothing that can stop you. You can learn anything and you can excel at it. Is there a solution to avoiding cloning of apps? We see many apps on our store, same design and functionality. So here, what you're asking me is a question that comes from a place of lack and scarcity. So if you are really good, then it doesn't really matter if they clone it, because it's basically they're trying to copy you because they have no inspiration of their own. And this is a good thing, because you are at such a high level in the marketplace that people are copying you. But if they're copying you, that means they have no creativity of their own. They have no talent of their own. So you can just be secure in knowing that you are better than them, right? Why did you stop making videos? Okay, so we are making these videos, but you have to realize the world has changed. So when the world around us has changed, we make different kinds of content, and that's what we are trying to help you understand, that whatever used to work, it doesn't work anymore. And the sooner you realize that, the better it will be for your future. So as the world changed, within 3 or 4 days, we launched new series of videos. That's how fast we are, right? Is there a way to get guidance from me personally? Yeah. I mean, you come to the group, share your questions, exactly what you need, and we'll answer those. And as I said, there are several levels of programs. So we have group coaching, plus we have personalized coaching. So if you are interested in that, you'll need to go through some qualification criteria, but then we can discuss that. Learn from Android tutorials. Your videos really help me a lot, but now since clients, what should I do? If you see the value, if you see the demand out there, React Native, Flutter, whatever, then you fulfill the demand. Like If you are keen to learn those skills and then fulfill that demand, go for it. Learn from that content. If you don't have access to that content, let us know. We will actually produce that content for you. We will actually create those courses exactly what you need, and we'll include in the library that we have. And second year, it doesn't matter how old you are. I mean, there are multimillionaires, 7-year-old running multi-million dollar businesses,
Yep.
so age factor, race, location, all these things don't matter, especially right now, because that's what Phil and we've been like, really repeating over and over again, that this has been a great equalizer. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody is in the same boat right now.
So when I was in university, I actually started a business to fund university and make sure I never had to pay rent. So it gave me a bit of an allowance monthly as well. I did a pretty sweet deal with somebody who was renting a 7-bedroom house. It was a really nice house on the outskirts of Manchester, and I moved in with all my mates, and we all split the rent between each other, and there was money left, and it was pretty sweet. It just worked really nicely, and I did that for the entire time I was at university. And actually, by the time I left university, I had 3 more houses doing the same thing, because the university had said, you were pretty good at getting a load of people together. Do you have any more access to properties? And I just did the same thing again. And it was a nice little income for a few years until they changed the laws on multiple tenancies, and then I got the hell out of there. But this is what I mean. You don't have to think just because I'm only in second year, I can't do this, or maybe I don't know enough yet, or because I'm not a graduate. That's not right. You have things that you can offer right now. There are things that you can do right now.
Yeah. So see, I mean, that's a very, very good example of how, if Phil had put this in his mind that I'm in university, nobody's gonna give me a house, this is not gonna happen, he won't even try, right? He won't even try. But if you remove those boundaries, if you just don't even think about, okay, there is any boundary above me, and then you can just like let loose and try all kinds of opportunities, and hey, not all of them will work. Most of them will fail, spectacularly, but maybe 1 or 2 will work, and those will be the ones that'll carry you through, right? And that's what we teach.
I'm a big gamer. I love games. And in fact, actually, I was just saying in the WhatsApp group earlier today with the rest of my team that we're actually looking forward to getting back into the London office, because we've got a big projector on the wall there, and we're going to go in and have a few games together. But I consider business almost like games. And it sounds like a crazy analogy, but it's fun, right? And let's say you were going to play Grand Theft Auto or something like that. If you're just going to stand there and walk around and live in your house and buy groceries, I mean, what's the point? You're doing that now. It's so boring. You go in there and you jump off things that you shouldn't, and you die, and you start fights with people that you shouldn't, and you get stabbed. I mean, I'm not saying that this is real life. This is just a game. But in terms of business, it's the same kind of thing. You're going to fall over. That's going to happen. But that's also how you win. It's also how you have fun. You've got to see this as a bit of a game. As Manoj said, if I went into that with the mentality of nobody's going to give me this, I never would have got it. But instead, I went in with the mentality of, I wonder if I can do this and how many calls it's going to take me to do it. And the answer was 3. It took me 3 calls to do it. Yeah. It was about half an hour's work, and it saved me thousands in cost over the university years and all that kind of stuff. So
a few more questions. Make tutorials on blockchain and hyper. Okay, so we are not taking requests. First of all, I want to make sure that this is not a platform to take requests and build, give tutorials like this. What we want you to do is join us in our Facebook group. Look at what we are doing in terms of helping the community, because obviously we want to help as many people as possible. And of course, for the few qualified people who are escalating in our process, we provide personal guidance and mentorship. But please join our group, and then we will be able to help you there, right? How do I know what can I do right now, rather than how do I know it's relevant to the market? And that's so Justin, very good question. That's what we are here for, because we look at the market at a very, very high level, detail level, and from different angles, right? We work with people who are managing, like, if I can reveal that, like trillions and trillions of dollars. That's a trillion with a T, okay? So we get information from these people, and we are sharing that information with you. So we don't go to like CNN or CNBC to get our news. we go right to the people who know exactly what is going on, and that's what we bring to you, right?
I'd also add into that as a novice, it's more about identifying the solution. I keep coming back to that point, but what solution can you solve? And somewhere somebody has that problem and needs that solution. And as I mentioned in the group earlier, I'll be sharing a video inside the Facebook group exclusively, which is a step-by-step instruction. And it's things that you can all do right now. It's tangible assets that you have. So utilizing things like LinkedIn Jobs to be able to ascertain where particular skill sets and solutions that you can provide are more in demand. And then we can go about, now you've identified them, now we can go about talking about how you can go and capture their attention, how you need to present this, and the sort of dialect and conversation that you need to be having to make these things a reality.
Yeah. So we thought we'll go for seven minutes, but this is good. Keep your questions coming, because this is exactly what we want. We want you to interact with us, ask the relevant questions. But please, what my request will be, think about the community at large. Don't think about, when you ask questions, don't make it about yourself, like where you are. Think about the community at large. Ask the questions preferably which will benefit everybody else as well.
Yeah.
Right now we are in a time crunch. We want to make sure we provide you maximum value. So please, try to be empathetic towards others as well.
Well, look, it's not just that. There's a question here about how can I improve my Android programming. Okay, and I think, look, there's loads of videos out there on YouTube, aren't there? There's videos on this YouTube channel right here that you could take it to get better at that. What I would say is this. Yes, it's right to think about continuous professional development, but you need to unpack that more. You need to think a bit deeper than that. Don't just think, because you're still thinking about a job title. You're still an Android programmer and you're not thinking about a solution. So you're thinking, how do I become better at my job? Well, stop thinking about the job, unpack it. If you haven't watched it already, there's a video of a live I did earlier today regarding management. And it's in the Facebook group. Definitely go and check it out. Manoj will stick a link in the group, I'm sure. If not, make your way to the website. You can always find it from there. But the video talked about unpacking it to the point where you could take each functionality of what you do and almost create a flow chart of the process. Okay. Now, if you can do that as an Android programmer, so what is it that you can do? Each level of functionality, whether it's pre-design and build. Have you ever been involved in pre-sales? Have you had that kind of discussion with clients? Are you always involved in implementation? Are you involved in the build? Are you involved in support and care afterwards? Unpack it and then unpack it again, because only when you have it all out on the table, metaphorically, can you start to see what's there and see where you can start to offer value. Because I promise you, as an Android developer or an Android programmer, there is about this much of your skill right now that to somebody is worth far more than you as an overall package of an Android programmer.
Yeah. So what we are trying, as Phil said, think broad, think bigger, think broader. Okay. What we are trying to do is not help you keep your job, even though, whatever we are sharing will help you with that.
Yep.
But we are trying to help you be self-sufficient, moving forward, because this thing can resolve tomorrow. If we have a vaccine, everything is back to normal. But this thing can go, bad.
I think that's what I'm trying to stress to people, is that right now is an opportunity, and I don't want to have to be kind of dragging you with me because you don't believe in this. You either do or you don't. But I'm telling you, as an impassionate person who's working with a lot of people who are all taking massive action right now. They are not binge watching Netflix. They are not playing on the PlayStation. This is a time for massive action. That's why I look tired. Look at me. I look exhausted. I work hard normally and I'm flat out tired right now. I'm getting some sleep, thankfully, but I am exhausted. And it's because now is the time to implement. Now is the time to take that action. Yeah. And if you don't do that, you're going to miss the opportunity. It's almost like a game of musical chairs, right? My aim is to end up with more chairs than I had beforehand. That's what I'm aiming for. Now, your aim might be to get your very first chair. But whatever you do, don't just sit in the corner because no one's going to hand you a chair.
Yeah. So I hope we answered the questions. Please keep them coming. We'll respond to them as efficiently as possible. And again, bring the focus on the things we talked about. Quieten your mind, calm yourself, drink water, sleep well. Think about how you want to design your life in the new world. Think about the questions you want to bring that may be relevant to others as well. And we'll help you out. We'll guide you. We'll provide all the mentorship and all the tools that are necessary for you to sort of thrive and survive and thrive in this environment.
Just on a little cheeky side note, I was asked in the group earlier today what I'm always drinking. It was my Father's Day mug, and I'm constantly drinking huge amounts of tea because, like every good English person that comes from Irish stock, I run off tea.
Yeah. Well, when you come from Ireland, I'm sure there's a little bit of whiskey in there somewhere. But
no, do you know what? I genuinely don't drink. I mean, could you imagine me if I did drink? Oh, dude. I mean, I used to drink when I was younger, and that was not a pretty sight. I think I did my liver enough damage in my teens to justify not drinking in my 30s.
Same here. I come from a state in India where the per capita alcohol consumption is the highest. So
there's a question here. Being a novice freelancer, how can one expand his reach and get potential leads? Love that question, Raj. Okay, I will do a live on that tomorrow. Awesome. Keep an eye on the group, head yourself into the group, and I will show you some practical tips that you can do. It will form part of the LinkedIn exercise with the jobs that I was telling you about before about how to identify these opportunities. But yeah, there'll be some practical information there. So definitely keep your eye out tomorrow. If it's a weird time for you, watch the replay.
Yeah, there's another one. What's your advice about making products motivated by personal ideas? Excellent question. Excellent. So this is a larger conversation, and this is exactly kind of work we will do. So your advice.
The bit at the end, though, I just want to challenge this slightly, George. You said challenges without looking around for existing problems. I think you do have to look at the existing problem. I think that's the point. I think we need to look at what our industry's problems are and start to solve them a solution. I think there was a time and a place, especially during the dot-com boom, where we could just create something completely new and people would embrace it. But that doesn't happen during a recession. People are a lot less likely to invest in something unless they're sure of the tangible results and what they know they're doing. So I love the idea, and I absolutely believe that you should put your own personal influence on that, your own personal slant. Again, I can talk about in videos tomorrow and over the next few days how I went about doing that within my businesses, because I work with some sectors that are notoriously pretty boring. And trying to create a brand within those sectors was quite a challenge and quite interesting, because it's not about what I wanted to say. It's about what the audience wanted to hear, in as much as I couldn't just go and start talking about football to an audience that have no interest in that whatsoever, and they only want to talk about business. You have to tailor your message to your audience, which is why you start with the problem. You start with the problem and reverse engineer from there.
Yeah, and I think George, maybe what I don't want to assume, but maybe what you're asking is looking around for existing problems that used to be existing problems before this coronavirus.
Oh, that's what you mean, yeah.
So if that's what you mean, that is exactly the purpose of our group.
Yes.
We are going to give you all the information about what is working right now, what should you do moving forward. That's the whole purpose of this group. So excellent question. We'll address it. We'll address it in much more detail. But keep thinking about these ideas. Keep brainstorming. Keep observing. And you can only observe when you are clear-minded. And that was the whole topic about today, right?
Absolutely. All those 28 moments ago. Yeah, listen, join us. Check out the website if you haven't already. Leave us your details there and we'll get in touch. If you are not in the Facebook group, please come and join us inside the Facebook group. I will do that live at some point during the day tomorrow, so it will be available only in the Facebook group. I will also be back live with Manoj around the same time tomorrow, just to cover a few more topics and bits and pieces that will be helpful.
And I want to mention now the Facebook group is becoming more important, because as you know, like we are putting some content there which is exclusive for Facebook group. So if you do want access to everything, please join us there. But if you just want to get a taste of what it is like, then you can stay on YouTube. But our recommendation is you come join us in the Facebook group.
Definitely. And just a reminder, anybody out there that's any good at sales or appointment booking and wants something to do right now and is looking for some money or AI, please get in touch. There's definitely opportunities to explore with us. Can't promise you anything, but there's definitely some juicy opportunities here. So get in touch. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Stay safe, stay well. I will also attach the link after the broadcast into the groups regarding the guided meditation that I use. It's definitely the one I recommend. It's the one I recommended to a good dear friend of mine, and his feedback was that he was feeling much clearer, much more energized. And if I can help just one more person do that, then it will be a success.
Awesome. Great. Have a good day and stay healthy, stay safe. Bye.
Take care, guys.